somebody brought up the idea of a Genesis reunion.
Yes.
And, well, what was your answer?
Well, it's not a new idea. I think that I would be up for it. Yeah, I've noticed that the line is that most guys in the band say they wouldn't rule it out. I would say, well, bring it on.
Yeah, bring it on.
Sure.
I agree with that.
But I have no news. There's nothing I can report to you. Whatever you've read is, I think, probably entirely spurious. I mean, there could be a reformation of any version of that band at any time, including you.
That's
there
right.
You are.
You're using some great vocabulary words, by the way.
Right.
I'm liking this.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's possible, but improbable. Meanwhile, I honour the music because I love that early music.
Well, here's the thing, too. I remember Mike Rutherford. He was here with Mike and the Mechanics last year, and he made a little tease about 50th anniversary kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but anything is possible. Now, that could mean a remaster, reissue of stuff in archives. Who knows?
Indeed, yes.
But I would like to see a Genesis reunion. Once again, you guys think about the lineup that you had in the early 70s, mid 70s. You're a super group at that time.
Yeah, well, I think it's very strange. I think all guys that are in big bands, you join a little band at some point, and then
exactly.
and then it surpasses all expectations, and then you have. Yes, you have the possibility of doing that for the rest of your life, or you owe your allegiance to music in general. And I didn't want to get pensioned off. It was a great band, wonderful while it was.
With Steve Hackett, he's got his new album that's out. Wuthering
Nights.
Wuthering Nights.
Wuthering
is the English term for blistering.
Blustering.
Withering.
Yeah,
Blustering.
yeah.
I'm sorry, blistering. That's something else. That's caused by something completely different. You want to stay away from that. Now, you're with Chris Squire.
That's right.
Of Yes.
Yeah.
You're checking out Led Zeppelin. So we're about to play the song that you heard that night. Now I'd like you to play disc jockey and tell everybody.
Okay. Well, that's an extraordinary evening. Actually, the funny thing was, Chris was playing on that. There was another band that had himself and Keith Emerson.
Wow.
And he said, "Are you coming to that?" So I said, well, I don't think I've got a ticket. And he said, well, why don't you drive me there, hold my guitar, be my roadie for the night, and come on in. So we did. That's what we did. So I was his roadie for the night.
That's cool.
I held his guitar.
You got in for free.
We got in for free. And it was extraordinary. They were extraordinary that night. I mean, I'd worked with John Paul Jones in Japan with a band that had Nuno Bettencourt. Paul Gilbert, very interesting. Mike Suter of the Suitors. That was great. That was, this kind of Anglo-American band. We did the thing called Guitar Wars, which was extraordinary. You remember that? I don't know.
Of course. I remember GTR, by the way.
John Paul Jones, that's right.
John Paul Jones.
John Paul Jones.
Great one. Admiral in the Navy. Yeah. And he also was a member of Led Zeppelin. But this is one of those mesmerizing songs that we're going to play that you heard there that night.
Yes.
We have the live recording from my garage right here.
You
said Tails Out. You saw me rewind it. We're going to play it from the reel to reel. Nobody does that.
Go for it. It was a great gig. They were phenomenal. And considering they hadn't played together for a zillion years, they were great.
I really miss is Greg Lake. I actually cried when he passed away.
Well,
I didn't expect it. I knew he was sick.
Am I allowed to name drop a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead. Name drop away.
Okay. Well, I went to a King Crimson. It was, I think, the first time they'd had a reunion to celebrate some stuff that had been recorded many years ago at the Marquee in 1969. Now, I attended a lot of those concerts before they made that first incredible album. But all these years later, I'd met most of them and spent time together. Ian MacDonald and I were pals. I'd done a little bit of work with him and Michael Giles and Pete Sinfield and Robert Fripp. I'd never met Greg, but at this do, I met him and I was introduced by Ian, and Greg shook my hand and he held it for a very long time, shaking it, and no words passed between us, but it was just this idea of absolute solidarity. And because I'd spoken, I like to think that I'd praised Crimson publicly,